Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Korean StarCraft League Weekly Cup. $400 on the line, and these men will fight each other to the death in a game known only as StarCraft 2 to find out who will walk away with glory and who will walk away being laughed at by the comments. In the top right, we have the pink Terran player, who handily defeated his opponent Naz in the lower bracket round. He is into the Inu, the round one, whatever. His opponent in the bottom left, I don't think this is a fake, so I mean it could end up being a bit of a tricky match. It's the blue Protoss. He's classic. The Korean StarCraft League is a weekly cup that is put on by Chicken Man SC and David Testa, just trying to continue to put on some more competitive stuff for us to see, give the Koreans a little more opportunity to earn a couple of bucks. It is supported by their Matcherino and Patreon. Shout out to everybody out there doing what they can to provide top quality StarCraft for the rest of us. It is your undying devotion to the scene and those of us who cannot make stuff happen on our own, that so many awesome folks come together to make it possible anyway. Probe Scout going to try to block that natural. Classic's going to arrive. SCV getting into a little fisticuffs action. You got Dose SCV's chasing. He's just going to build it off to the side. Little power move. Says, I'm going to just slam it down. I don't care if I have to waste 3 seconds lifting it when it's done. Oh, if the Marine gets it. If he gets the probe. No, he does not get the probe. Now that's... Oof. 2 health. Almost. So we know into the Inu from the first round match. If you guys missed it against Nats, he went for a 3 racks opening. He went 1 Marine reactor, and then he builds 2 barracks. He doesn't really use his Vespene gas very much. He played a pretty straight up style, just tried to get about 15 Marines with stim, very late factory, but he was getting 1 based both games by his opponent. So I don't really know how much that plays into it, because into the Inu didn't really scout either. I mean, he scanned when the Dark Shrine was coming in, but I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know what's gonna happen here. So let's all go on this ride together. There's the extra 2 racks, and it's a Stargate for Classic. I like this. We see this all the time out of Protoss players. If you want to shut down a mine drop, Phoenix are amazing for that. If you want to just keep track of a bio player's army movement, maybe any early move outs, or you want to deny a base, you can use oracles, put a little stasis trap, maybe try to kill an SCV or 2. But the Adept for Classic comes up. And what did he see? He saw the second racks. I think that's a really big tell, because seeing this and the number of Marines should tell Classic that there's not a factory on the map. So yeah, he doesn't need Phoenix. Going straight into the Oracle is going to be the best way to use the Stargate. So I like that he goes into the Oracle after confirming that he doesn't need Phoenix to shut down a drop. So he can just get out on the map. And now they're talking in Korean, so I don't speak Korean, so I'm just gonna say that hopefully there's nothing inappropriate being said, because everybody's cool. SCVs are gonna surround this Adept. He's gonna kill 1 worker, so there you go. Stim is on the way now. We have Combat Shield for the other tech lab, most likely booting up soon. Stalker is going to come poke as the Oracle approaches his base. And we've got a full-blown conversation. I think they're talking about... I don't know what they're talking about, so I'm not gonna try and say something funny and look dumb. Not today, Nathan. Oracle goes into the natural. There is no turret. There's only 3 Marines, which are conveniently enough not enough to kill an Oracle. So this is gonna be potentially some nice damage. At the very least, Inu has just gone for big Marine move outs throughout his games so far today. So I think even just losing the Marines is still pretty bad for him. There's no factory. He hasn't started a factory, so that means there's no starport. He can't start a starport. He can't build medevacs. He just has Marines, but he lost most of them. There's 8 Marines and 31 SCVs against 45 probes. Classic, saturated on 2 bases. He's got a shield battery going up front of the natural, and he's cranking out Immortals. I know what this means. This is laughter right there. That's some laughter out of Classic, thinking about a warm childhood memory that just absolutely lights up his day. It's Friday night over here in the west coast of the US while we're commentating this, but I believe it's Saturday morning over in Korea, which means while they're playing in this tournament, they've got their TV on, they've got their cartoons going, some sort of cereal. I don't know if Captain Crunch is legal in Korea, but I imagine if they had any cereal at least as close to as good as it, that's what they would be eating. And there you go. Little denial. And that's another 2 SCVs on the way out. So this Oracle has 12 kills at the end of it. Yeah, he might just be fanboying. Yeah, that's a great suggestion from chat. That's kind of the cool thing about these open cups. Anybody can sign up, I believe. You just have to have... I'm going to assume that there's some kind of rating requirement for the ladder, or maybe there's not. I don't really know. It is just kind of a community funded and driven thing. It's still gaining notoriety, so to speak. So the fanboy is working so far. Another comment coming in. I definitely can see a bit of that. He's gotten Classic to reply to him, right? You're trying to get him to underestimate you and maybe open up the door a little bit. I think that's when things can get tough. So sign up for the tournament, play against pro players in games that you think you probably won't be able to win, and ask a question like, hey man, what's your favorite kind of, you know, what do you get at McDonald's? He's like, what's your drive-through go-to? And Classic's like, I don't know, just kind of a 10-piece nugget guy. Nah, never really thought about it that much. He's like, I don't really go there. And he was like, yeah, me neither. Great conversation, guys. Great conversation. We've got a Colossus with 2 Immortals and 2 Sentries, so plenty of firepower and shields to defend. And this is the hard part. The Armory is coming in. We have the Starport finally done, but it is so late. The bio has no support. You can't stim Marines into Colossus with no Medivet. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, Inu. It's not worth your life. No, God, no. Okay, well, some of these Marines get barbecued to a crisp. Speaking of crisp, we do have an Oracle Stasis Ward going up outside the natural into the Inu. I think he saw it get built, but he might have been focusing on these Marines trying to run from the Colossus. Yeah, two Colossi is not going to be an easy fight. So 2 Medivacs are going to come out. There's a decent amount of Marauders. I mean, if he clicks all the Marauders onto the Colossus and the force fields are all whiffed completely. Look, at Classic is walking into a sandwich. I don't know. Is this how you get inside your opponent's head and steal a game off a pro? He walked into a pretty gnarly concave. Marauders right click on a Colossus. 1 down. Second one getting popped. The Immortal got baited to the west side. Okay. Well, into the Inu. He's got a good fight going on the left side. He was able to plant the 3rd command center down, but there's the Prism beginning to reinforce. The Prism actually saved that 2nd Colossus at the last second. I didn't even see that. And that'll probably be it. Well done for game 1 here. Inu's still hanging on, but Classic is ready to bring the pain, and he just doesn't have Vikings. I think the biggest thing going for him was that early +1 defensively, but Classic has been on top of his upgrades, and the 3rd base is going to get smashed. So another move out by Inu. His Medivacs don't have any energy. Notice that he can't actually heal the bio, so Zealots are going to charge on top of this, and every time he stims, it's just health that is not going to come back. 2 more Medivacs did finish. 1 did get caught on the mineral line, but this is the form that we expect to see out of Classic. Definitely showing up today. Other notable participants in today's qualifier. I was Weekly Cup. I was excited because Gumiho was gonna play, but apparently he thought it was still on Saturday. The schedule for the tournament has changed, I think, to Fridays. I don't know if it's a permanent change, but we've got Cure, Dark, DRG, Classic, so a good amount of very strong Korean competitors, and maybe some. I don't want to call him a fanboy, but you know, it kind of seems like he's having some fun. He's talking to a pro, getting into some difficult situations is one way to put it. And Classic's gonna clean out the natural, load that Colossus up, and let's see. Are we gonna send everything into a choke point to get microwaved by the Colossus? Is that the play? Okay, he recalls home to stop the quadruple drop, the quadruple. And this is actually a pretty nice play by Into the Inu. So he's saying, hey, you're going from a natural, that's fine. I'm gonna float the 3rd base over to a ninja location and just snipe your base. So he picked off some of the pylons that were powering about 6 warp gates. So a lot of the reinforcement potential for Classic taken off the board. Hey, kudos to you for the YOLO drop. Some people in a matchup where they maybe less than favored. Oh, that's just dirty. Stasis straps him, and then look at that. He actually can't land it because his units are blocking. Oof. Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. Classic, no. Classic, no. Oh, he doesn't have enough energy. We're safe. We're safe. I was actually, I don't know. I think I was gonna ask to disqualify him if he burned him that bad. That's just inhumane, really. Into the Inu does have a large army, but so does Classic. I don't really have too many ways to spin this for you guys. We're watching one of those early rounds. Hopeful contender versus professional Protoss player. The one thing I do really like is that he's got great upgrade timing. You don't need armor upgrades versus Protoss. Most of your units are going to die instantly if they get caught. You want that damage. You want that DPS. There's actually nothing on this base for Classic, so this Nexus is going to get popped. We're getting back into another awkward quasi-base trade scenario. Natural command center lifts up, runs over towards the main. I think the Prism could elevator some Zealots to the inside, but his recall is still on cooldown for another 24 seconds. So all he can do defensively is just warp in. He actually does not have, he's not mining all the Liberator on the natural. What is going on here? Okay. Well, Classic, he's on everything and he's killing it. But Into the Inu is, I think if he just goes for the next eye, get all the next eye. Don't let probes get away though. You don't want to let any probes get out. Okay, some already got out. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say that. Or pretend that I pointed that out before I said that. He does get the recall in the nick of time, and I think that should end up doing it. But he still has. He's gonna build 2 more command centers in the top middle of the map. I love it. I love it. You've got Terran going for the hit and run. The Blink Stalkers are gonna make short work of that though, and the Protoss player saying, "Look, I'd love to just walk across the map and kill you, but you keep trying to base trade me. I don't want to base trade you, man. I don't want to base trade you. Why don't you base trade me? Why don't you base trade me?" Well, there you go. Classic takes game number 1. Takes game number 1 right there. And we're going to get into the second map in just a moment. I'm going to do a quick bracket update while we're waiting for game 2. Oh, there's the lobby. Into the Inu. He got that set up quick. Okay. So looking at the bracket, looks like Jaishi SC2 defeated Cyan 2-1. That's crazy. And so he'll be playing against the winner of Hero versus Bad Boars. So that actually could just be freaking nuts. So we might do that one after this. And then the winner of this match will play most likely Dongrigu. So let's get it. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Smooth, seamless transition. Nope. You know, I was thinking about the first match of the day here. There you go. Don't miss your chance to shoot your shot. I think he's giving him his link to his Fiverr page. And in the bottom right, he's Into the Inu. In the top left, the blue Protoss player. He's Classic. Into the Inu did the same thing in both games of his first series against the Protoss player Naz. So I would not be surprised if we get one Marine, if we get just one Marine and then a reactor, up to 3 racks, big bio play. It's not very fast on the tech. It doesn't have that early aggressive potential. And it's so often at the pro level, it's almost necessary, required even, to go for a big play, to go for a big drop and try and make some either Widowmine hits or Hellions. We see guys like Clem go for that all the time. But you usually, I mean, every Terran player mine drops, right? Like that's pretty sure nowadays if you pick Terran when you install the game, I think even before it shows the normal tutorial, it just sends you a link to someone's YouTube of doing a mine drop. And it's like, you might as well just study this for 20 hours before you try to play. It is that good. It is that good. It is that, yeah, well, I don't need to say it 500 times to get the point across now, do I? But Into the Inu, doing exactly what we expect of him. Classic with the anti-Reaper pylon in the natural. You don't see this very often. Is just one enough to block it then? Perhaps he's thinking about getting a little cheese. We got a nice defensive layout in the main base so that nothing can run around too much in Classic's mineral line. And they're just having themselves a nice chat, probably saying to each other things like, the commentator is trying to guess what we're saying, but he doesn't speak Korean. And then they both laugh. So Classic opens up with a Stargate again. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have a feeling it's gonna be Oracle. I just don't see the value in going Phoenix against a Marine build. That seems like the one possible way that you could just get bowled over. But that's just me. You can, you know, if you like it, you can take it. If you don't, send it right on back, kind of situation. But whatever you do, I was gonna say don't lose your adept, but I didn't want to be mean. I guess I said it anyway, huh? I'm sorry. Sorry, Classic. I love you. Gets right up on top of that ramp once more. And it is kind of important to try to get that scout. The barracks were a little bit further behind this time, so you're not 100% sure whether it's going to be mines or not. But I think based on the first game and just based on the, you know, the potentially perceived gap here, he's feeling okay. Oracle, I want agency. I want to just go get it done. Doesn't need to be anything over the top. If he thought he was getting mine dropped, I think he might go for a Phoenix or two. That's a somewhat common-ish response. You can just graviton beam them before they burrow, but it's a bit unusual that we see a TvP get played where it's just straight up, I'm going to do a fast expand and then I'm just going to go into buy. I'm just going to build Marine. So Classic says that I'm just going to walk behind your mineral line. You don't have stim yet. You hardly have any units as it is. He's gonna kek emoji him. Brings the Oracle to fight with the rest of his units at the ramp, and that's just filthy. So now the ramp is kind of forfeit. Oracle is going to microwave the Marines coming out of the barracks as they finish. Still has 17 energy, so he can kill a couple more. And that's really all he has to do is just make it so that this mineral line is completely denied. The Oracle actually killed the last Marine too, so 10 kills. Just, I mean, it's brutal. It is not good. Classic has decided that he's not here to entertain a fan anymore. He's going to drop the hammer. He's going to go for that elbow. He's going to fall on his elbow right onto him after he kicks him down. Absolute brutality on display. Robotics follow-up. Very similar to that first game. We're not really seeing anything earth-shattering here out of Classic. I think he recognizes he's just got to go through the motions, don't make too many mistakes, and he's definitely got that edge as we saw in the first one. Factory coming in very late again. Is that Oracle? It's only got 4 health, so even with shields, that's just 64 damage it can sustain total. Somebody was asking. There is, if you look right here in the middle, right? Look through the red as it spins around. There is a guy in the missile turret. Someone in chat was asking. There's always been a man in the missile turret. This is a crucial part of StarCraft lore. If you consider yourself a StarCraft fan and you're not aware of there being a man in the turret, it's okay because now you know, so you don't have to feel bad anymore. But if your friends don't know, then they might feel bad to not have key knowledge. So make sure to go tell them. All right? Tell everybody you know. When's the next holiday? I have no idea. July 4th? Go to July 4th party. Let everybody know there's a man in the turret. It's very important. Signy in chat says, my life has changed now that I know there's a guy there. It's true. It's true. So Into the Inu is going to do what he does best. A big bio move out with no medevacs, but a lot of units, +1 in stim. Again, there's nothing about this that I hate. I feel the methodology here, or the methodology here, is that you just want to have a lot of supply before there's Colossi, before you have Storm, before you have a lot of disruptors. Bio can just bowl over gateway units very easily. But he doesn't really have that maneuverability without the medevac, so he's just going to wait. The nice thing about this that I think we kind of learned from the first game is that Into the Inu actually wants to just be crazy aggressive. So he doesn't delay the medevacs because he doesn't want to drop. He just delays the medevacs because he wants to have an unholy amount of units with his first 2 medevacs. So this isn't your standard, you know, your daddy's 18 Marines and 3 Marauders. He's got 25 and 7. So this is a lot of firepower. And I think Classic's army is still very well balanced to handle it. 2 Colossi, 2 Immortals. And he got upgrades last game. Yeah, he's getting +1 attack. He's also going for charge before blink. Into the Inu did finish. He's got his +1 armor. So he's got a little upgrade advantage window he can try to hit with 2 medevacs and a lot of bio. The Observer, by the way, for Classic sees everything. Literally everything revealed. So the army's going to step forward and he says, oh, your medevacs aren't even with that army yet. You don't want to stim. Then he stims, pulls back. We see the force fields. Oh! Ouch. Classic defense is the best defense. When I think about Classic, I don't have a lot of bad feelings, you know. I think about classic games. That makes me think about Castlevania, and that makes me happy. Think about Classic. I think about, I don't know, Classic Hot Sauce. The Heatonist one, the Classic. That one's great. Classical music, which makes me think of Eric Clapton, just because Clapton sounds like Classic, even though there's nothing really connected there. And that's the way the news goes. So the Zealots will chase that drop back. The army has not been able to find purchase. Into the Inu is going to try and send another attack towards the north side, but runs into the Zealot. There's a pylon to spot as well. So Classic, he knows 100% what is going on in this game. And let's not forget that he still has a little unit sharking around that prism with some charge lots in it. Going to land inside of the main. The armory. You know, the one thing that we really praised Inu for was his upgrades, and the poor guy's armory is the first thing that gets denied at 99%. Literally 46 out of 46 on the build time. Will he ever finish the armory? Yes, he did. He actually did. He went and got it in the middle of combat. You know why? Because he knows what matters. But unfortunately, big push from Classic onto the natural. Bunker empty. Gets a couple of Marines on the inside. I think with some force fields, though, he can kind of parse this apart whatever way he wants. Yeah, he's going to just do another big Zealot warp, and the rest of the ones inside of the main base have attacked once again. And SCVs are going to come off the line, but I do not believe it's going to be enough. Classic just melting his way through Inu like a Hot Pocket microwaved for 7 minutes. GG. Classic takes the 2-0.